What is it about rivers? This is a question that's asked me quite often. What is it about rivers that fascinates you to the point of obsession? Well, my interest in rivers is both very early and very late. I lived in a countryside where we had a stream flowing across the corner of the property, and I used to splash around in it and catch crawdaddies. That was fun. But then it kind of tapered off. I went to Nepal, I was in the mountains. I went to Bangkok, it was anything but mountains. So it wasn't until I was 44 that I actually became interested in them again. And that was as a result of living in a house on stilts on the edge of the river, right opposite the Grand Palace. And every day I saw something different, something new kinds of boats, new ways of fishing, new cargoes that were being carried from point to point. It was an endless source of fascination because the river was so varied. And I became interested in kind of where all the water came from, and I started asking questions. My Thai friends said, all the boatmen, boats had disappeared as a form of transportation, and the boatmen themselves, the boat builders and such, had also disappeared. I couldn't find anything in books, because I think the people who rowed boats maybe a century ago were basically passengers. They weren't actually poling themselves, so they would have no need to know about the dynamics of the river. So I've always been a believer that in order to know, you go. And in this instance, I went to the headwaters of the Ping, which is the river that flows through Chiang Mai. Walked down it for about 3 days with a couple of Lahu tribal friends till it was deep enough. And then I had to go 200 kilometers south to a place in Tak province to find a man who would build me a boat out of teak. Took it back up the river, up to the place that I had ended my walk, dropped it in, started paddling, and on the vast experience I'd gained rowing a boat across Lumpini Park Pond, I set off, and 58 days later ended up in the ocean, and that was just the start. I'm still exploring.